10 years ago, we saw some dramatic scenes of refugees risking their lives. I saw myself some of those scenes. What has changed since then?
These huge influxes happen all over the world, even in bigger numbers all the time, but the media attention then made it quite unique. I think it had negative effects because it fueled even more the instrumentalization of refugee and migration movements on the part of certain politicians that exploited these big arrivals to instill fear of the refugee, fear of the migrant, fear of the foreigners. But it also showed that the tools that we were using to respond to refugee crisis needed renewal, needed reform. After 2015, 2016, we did a lot of work, and I can talk about that, to create new tools, new responses, new partnership to deal with this issue.
Up to now, how does this rise of the far-right movement, how is this movement affecting and influencing the policies?
The reality is that none of these politicians that have been so critical towards immigration, positive immigration policies, has ever proposed a sound solution to these population movements other than build walls or push back, which is not a solution. By and large, Europe is moving along one initiative called the European Pact on Migration and Asylum, which is actually, in our opinion, is not perfect, but in our opinion is positive, and we support it. The focus is on good integration policies with resources, and it says that it is important to look also upstream, not only at the European border, but also at all the routes that these people are going through before arriving in Europe, and many interventions that can be made along these routes to help countries hosting them in order to stabilize the flows.
Now the main concern is the displacement in general, and with Palestinians in particular. How do you see the situation nowadays?
Now the reality is that even compared to 10 years ago, the total number refugees displaced has increased, has doubled. Often I'm asked a question which is very important: why is it like that? And I think the main answer to these questions, the main answers are two. One is that war, conflict, which continues to be the main driver of displacement. Very often conflict is mixed with other factors. Climate change, for example. I always say, and it's sometimes difficult but important to recall this on the eve of the COP in Brazil, this creates conditions for conflict. And this, of course, provokes further displacement.
We are facing a big problem with the humanitarian agencies, and especially since Donald Trump started the second mandate.
We are in a terrible situation, and in fact we have been frustrated in this by huge cuts, not just by the United States, by the way. Europe has made the choice to spend more money on defense. That's its prerogative. But international aid, development, humanitarian, is also a tool for security and stability. I think it is very short-sighted to increase on one side and decrease on the other.